Welcome back to For the Record. Today we are reacting to one of my most anticipated albums of the year, Kevin Abstract's Blush, of course. This has 18 songs, it's 45 minutes long. Some people are calling it the album of the summer. There's only one single, which was Geezer. I have listened to Geezer and I've listened to Abandon Me with Quadeca, because I just couldn't help myself. But I think everything else is new. I think I've heard some clips on TikTok, but I don't know what songs. So the first track is appropriately titled The Introduction. It's only 20 seconds. This is the first real song on the album. It is called H-Town. It's Kevin Abstract, So Gone So Flexy, Amir Van, and Love Spells. Let's get into it. I think that was a really good first song, you know what I mean. If you see me looking off to the side, I'm looking at the Genius page because I just want to know who's doing each verse and whatnot. The Amir Van part reminded me of Tyler, the Creator. Don't know if anyone else got that, but I think just the way his voice sounded. Love Spells, I know he does a lot of the high parts on this album. I don't really know Love Spells music. I think I've heard a few songs, but don't really listen to them at all. I think probably it's just from TikTok, to be honest. This is a really good song though. Also, I don't know if this is what he is referring to in the title of the track, H-Town. It was an R&B group from Texas, which is where he's based out of. Don't know if that's what he's referring to or if it's something else. I don't know, but because I assume H-Town is Houston. I don't know. just guessing there. This next song is called Copy. It's Kevin Abstract again, obviously. E Bleu. I think that's how you say it. I don't know, it's French, but it's blue, but B-L-E-U. I don't know. So Gone So Flexi's back again, and Love Spells. Let's listen.
Never change. I know I'll end up back in your arms.
If you can hear purring, my cat is now beside me. So shout out to Lola. She's right here. That was a really good song. I don't really have a lot to say about it. I do think I need to listen to Love Spells now because I am enjoying their parts a lot. Very interesting voice. I like it though. Next song is the shortest song on the album. It's 53 seconds, so I'm assuming it's only going to be like a verse. It is Danny's track with Danny Brown.
Stop procrastination, is the life you coulda lived. When it's real, you feel it, ain't gotta say what it is.
That was a great song. Very quick. Kevin wasn't on it. It was just a Danny verse, which is good. I'm not complaining. I love Danny Brown. He's super cool. It kind of felt like a little bit of an interlude just because it was so short. I would have maybe liked a little bit, like a song with both of them on it that was 2 minutes. I don't know, I think that would have been good, but I mean, again, it's a Danny verse. I'm not complaining. It is, all of his verses are going to be pretty good. This next song is called Yoko Ono. It's Kevin Abstract, Love Spells, and Makana XO. Don't know who that is, but let's give it a listen anyway.
Classic without a B-side. What's the Beatles without Yoko? Yo, I don't wanna know. So many.
That, I think, might have been my favorite song that I've heard so far. Other than Abandon Me by Quadeca, that takes the cake right now. But out of the new ones, that I think might be my favorite. Whatever that sound was at the ending when Love Spells was doing that little vocalization thing. Whoa, gorgeous. I can only imagine what it sounds like with headphones on, but since I'm listening on a TV right now, I don't get the full effect, but I can imagine it would be amazing. I like the contrast between Kevin and Love Spells' voices because Kevin has not a super low voice, but it is a lot lower than Love Spells, and then when Love Spells does the chorus or the background vocals or whatever he's doing, it's just a good contrast. I don't know, I like it a lot. The next song is Nola with a bunch of people on it. So it has Kevin Abstract, Truly Young, Love Spells, Life Files, Drigo, JPEG Mafia, Amir Van, and Quadeca. It's only 3 minutes 11 seconds, which is very short for a song with this many features, I think. But let's listen to it.
Nigga, you share that bitch, you share no bliss, present my gifts. Didn't make no list, you taste that thorn, take that bitch.
I have heard a few things about that song. I haven't heard actual clips of that song before, but what I have heard, people are saying JPEG Mafia carries. I do kind of agree with that because, once again, like Danny Brown, JPEG Mafia doesn't really ever disappoint with his features or his verses or anything really. And two, I've heard that Quadeca was supposed to have a verse on this, but they cut it out because he said it was bad, which is interesting. But this is obviously a Quadeca production, and It reminds me so much of Knots, which is on Didn't Mean to Haunt You. It has that kind of Knots pacing to it where it's very fast. It's like a lot faster than a lot of his other songs. Also, Love Spells, we'd have a different kind of inflection in his voice. It's kind of deeper than the others. It's not as high-pitched and airy and floaty, if that makes sense. Kevin Abstract wasn't on the song that much. He was only in it like for a few seconds. The last thing I want to say about this song, I hope we get to hear more JPEG Mafia on Quadeca Productions because it's so good. His, you know, the way he raps fits so well, at least with this type of song. I hope in the future we get more JPEG Mafia and Quadeca collabs. Also, the real last thing I'm going to say. People online are saying this is the most Brockhampton-like song. In all honesty, I have not really listened to Brockhampton. I know. Like, I've listened to their albums, like, probably once or twice all the way through. And the way that I found out about Kevin Abstract was through Quadeca last year with Texas Blue. Because I feel like when Brockhampton was, like, popping off and got really popular, I was a little bit too young to even know they existed. I knew Sugar because it was on the radio all the time, but I feel like Brockhampton was catered more towards high schoolers where I was in middle school, so I was just under that demographic. Brockhampton's sick though. They're just not a group that I'm really familiar with. This next song is Post Breakup Beauty, Kevin and Love Spells.
Given some time, life is alright.
We had kind of a switch with Kevin and Love Spells where Kevin was doing the higher parts, or he was like doing like higher parts than what he usually does, but Love Spells was still doing the extremely high vocalization. This, I think, is my favorite so far. I'd say it's Post Breakup Beauty, Yoko Ono, Nola. That's like my top 3 right now out of the ones I've heard. I can just picture myself listening to this song for the rest of the summer, the rest of the year probably. This song is really good. It seems a lot chiller than, especially since Nola was the last one that we just heard, which is a very high energy, high-paced, very fast sounding song. This is a really nice kind of cool down from that. It's interesting. I like it a lot. I recently watched the Zach Sang interview that Kevin Abstract did with Love Spells and Quadeca, and in that he talked about like the meaning behind this album, and he said he wrote it after like a breakup or like a friendship breakup or something. Like him and someone else parted ways, right? And it affected him a lot. That's why he moved back to Houston, and that's why he wrote this album. And I think this song really shows his growth, like, you know, being with that person and not doing too well and then breaking up or moving on, and now his life is so much better. I think that's maybe what he's talking about. I don't know. This next song is Kevin Abstract and Love Spells once again. It's called 97 Jag. Let's listen.
Ain't crashed out, wish I followed my instincts. Slurring on my words, I care too much what your friends think. My superpowers always in the.
This song, I think it might be tied with Post Breakup Beauty right now. Kevin wasn't on it that much. I think it was mostly Love Spells, and I adored it. I really gotta listen to Love Spells, is what I'm learning from listening to this whole album. Love Spells is sick, from what I've heard at least. It is very calming as well. The background instruments were nice. The guitar at the end was amazing. Great song. This next song is Text Me, Kevin Abstract and Seku? I don't know. Let's listen to it though. I think that might have been my least favorite so far. I think the chorus was a little bit annoying. The way that they did the vocals was just not my favorite thing ever. I like the background music a lot more, but I'm not going to listen to it just for the background music. What I will say, the ending of the song was really cool. It had auto-tune that reminded me a lot of T-Pain, which I wasn't expecting, but I really enjoyed it because I'm a big fan of T-Pain. I always have and I always will be. So that was also a standout part for this song, but again, it's not enough that I'm going to listen to it fully. The next song is the first and only single for this project. It's Geezer. It's Dominic Fike and Kevin Abstract.
He won't be around much longer. He's getting old for his age.
In that Zach Sang interview with Kevin, Quad, and Love Spells, Kevin talked a lot about his relationship with Dominic Fike and how they've always been very creatively intertwined, because Dominic Fike worked on Arizona Baby. He worked on Peach and I think Crumble. I think those are the 2 songs that he's on. correct me if I'm wrong, I can't remember the names. I know for sure he's on Peach. I think they have such good chemistry. Like, they just work really well together, and we can hear that. We can hear the friendship in these songs that they're on together. I wish we could hear Kevin more. It is primarily Dominic Fike on that song. Kevin does have a verse, but it's not the verse that I think about. You know what I mean? I think of the chorus, which is mainly Dominic Fike. I think it is the same way with Peach, where you only think of the Dominic Fike part of that song because it's so catchy. And if they did like an Anderson .Paak Cordae kind of thing where they were like going back and forth verse by verse, I think maybe it would help Kevin's popularity a little bit more with these songs, because they are his songs, but then the most popular parts or the most played parts of the songs are Dominic Fike. So I feel like maybe if they did kind of a back and forth, it would probably help his case a little bit more than people just knowing his songs for the Dominic Fike parts. But I do think they're both great parts of the song. I'll just think about the Dominic Fike one a little bit more. Anyway, this next song is called I Wasn't There. It's Kevin Abstract and Derby. Let's listen.
I wasn't there, so can you find me? No, there's magic in you, baby, cause it
Kevin wasn't on that song. That was a solo song by an artist named Derby. I don't know who that is, never heard of them. This song was fine. I don't know, it was just a quick little country kind of ish song. Not my favorite, not my least favorite. This is the interlude. It's called Blush Interlude. It's 1 minute 29 seconds. I'm kind of expecting it to be kind of like the introduction, where it's just kind of like a mood setter. So let's listen. Yeah, so not a song, just, I don't know, a bunch of conversations happening, like just a little interlude. It was fine. It'll definitely be one that I skip just because it's not a song, it's just boring, kind of. This next song is Maroon, another Dominic Fike and Kevin Abstract collab. Let's listen.
Remember back when I could turn your face maroon? Back when there was only space for two.
That was just Dominic Fike. Kevin Abstract was not on that song. I know they have such good creative chemistry, but it wasn't showcased in that song. I do hate to say it, but I do prefer that song over Geezer. Although it does just feel like it's a Dominic Fike song, because it is just Dominic Fike's song with Kevin Abstract's name on it. I assume probably he did a lot of production on it. I'd assume he did a lot of production on this entire album. It's his album. But like, I don't know, why not say it's a Dominic Fike song produced by Kevin Abstract at that point? You know what I mean? Like, why not just let Dominic Fike have that song for his own project? I know I'll be listening to that song throughout the summer. That's such a summery song. The song does feel very nostalgic. They're kind of reminiscing on the past and thinking about what life was at one point. It is great, but I feel like it could be better if Kevin Abstract was also singing or rapping on it. That's just my opinion though. This is the 14th song. It's called Pop Out. It has Kevin Abstract, Love Spells, Amir Van, Drigo, E. Bleu, and Devin Manley. Let's listen.
Pop out, and they gon' miss me. Bad bitches in the corner, got a man, she wanna kiss.
Kevin was not on that song either. That song was fine. Wasn't my favorite. I kind of put it like right above Text Me, because it's not as annoying as that song, but it's also not as good as like Post Breakup Beauty or Maroon. The part that I did like, I don't know who was singing it, but it reminded me a lot of Black. Like, it had that Black kind of auto-tune to it. It sounds a lot like his music, which is sick because Black is one of my favorite artists. I love that guy. We are on to track 15. It's 3 minutes and 3 seconds. It's Kevin Abstract, Drigo, Love Spells, and Truly Young. Let's listen to it.
Tuesday, I don't wanna see you. Friday, I can't leave you. Rihanna, Romeo ain't equally honest. Hit the speedboat, dream won't be profit.
The first track since track 11 that he has been on, other than the interlude. I assume that was probably him talking. I don't know. 3 songs without him. I feel like it's a lot for an album, for his own album. This song was great. It was kind of just middle of the road for me. Like, it's not one that immediately stands out to me, I guess is what I'm saying. It's pretty good though. The next track is Bloom. It's Kevin Abstract, Love Spells, and Amir. Back at it again. Let's give it a listen.
Even though I love you, ride away to be with you all my life.
I don't know if this is gonna make sense. It felt more dystopian than the rest. Like, there was a lot of sounds in it that reminded me of like a factory robot. I don't know if that makes sense, but like, you know, like the sound of like its arm bending or picking something up or moving it. It sounded more industrial than some of the other songs on it. I did really enjoy it. It was very short though. It was like 2 minutes or something. But we did get equal parts from all three of them, so it's fine, I guess. I don't know. Like, it wasn't just a Love Soul song or just an Amir song. It had equal parts for each of the artists featured on it. I liked it a lot. Next song is one of my songs of the year. This is Abandon Me by Quadeca. That was a solo Quadeca song on a Kevin Abstract album. Again, it's kind of the same thing with Maroon. That was just Dominic Fike. I feel like this one will get a lot of traction, especially online, because the internet loves Quadeca, obviously, as they should. He's amazing. But I feel like if this song gets a lot of traction, it's because it's Quadeca, not because it's a Kevin Abstract song. I don't know. It's the same kind of thing with the Dominic Fike ones, where it's not overpowering, but it is the main focus, right? I love that song. I listened to it so many times since it came out. I think it's great. I don't know if anyone else gets this, but it reminds me a lot of For Me to You. It gives me that kind of energy, just more matured. I don't know if that makes any sense. Anyway, we are on to the final song. It's called Red Light. This is Kevin, Quad, and Amir. Let's listen to it. The final song, that kind of does play into the theme that he was talking about in the Zach Sang interview, where he was in this relationship and it just wasn't working out. And that song, when Quad says, I'd be at a red light all my life with you, or whatever he says, it just means like he's stuck in that time. And maybe it wasn't a good time. Maybe it felt good at the moment, but looking back on it, it wasn't great. I think that is a really good final track to this album. You can really tell that's a Quadeca production too, because it has like those strings that are in a lot of his newer songs like Godstained or Monday or Foregone. It's very reminiscent of that in the background music. The reason that I found Kevin Abstract in the first place was Quadeca. It was Texas Blue, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video. And then Tennessee was also produced by Quadeca. That's Kevin Abstract and Lil Nas X. Amazing song. I think Quadeca and Kevin Abstract have really good chemistry, just like Kevin and Dominic. I think they bounce off each other really well. And you can really hear the love that they have for each other in the songs that they put out together. My final thoughts on Blush. This is a really good album. I will be listening to it for the rest of the summer, although I wish Kevin was on it more, especially being a Kevin Abstract album. I wish he was featured on it more. A lot of the songs are pretty short, which means his verses are really short in order to fit in a lot of the features on this album, because there's a lot of features on this album. He even posted a spreadsheet on Instagram of like the breakdown of like the percentage of each artist. He was the artist featured on it the most, obviously, but only 28.2%, which is not a lot, especially since he is the main artist. It is his album. I feel like, at what point does an album become just a group project? If you're the main artist, I feel like you should be on it the most, and he was, but the most being 28% isn't a lot. I feel like it probably should have been like higher than that, like in the 50s or higher, because when all the features combined are more than your total time spent singing or rapping on the album, is it not just a group project at that point? Like, I get that it is his name and he's probably creatively directing a lot of what's going on, but still, I don't know. It's interesting. Just something to think about. I love this album, and this also was the first album released under Quadeca's new music label. It's called X8 Music. This will kind of carry me into Vanisher season, which is now July. Quadeca said Vanisher comes out in July, so I'm very excited for that. But I will be listening to this up until that point, and then that will probably take over my entire life. But this album was really good. I will continue to listen to it. There are a few songs I will skip, and there are songs that I wish Kevin was part of more, but it's still good. I do recommend this song. Actually, the song by Kevin Abstract that I recommend the most is Sierra Nights with Ryan Beatty, who's like he's like the unofficial member of Brockhampton. But anyway, that's it for me. Bye for now, guys. I will see you in the next one.